What's good, my good peoples? Welcome to Banana Anxiety. This is the home of the scary, the spooky, the creepy shit. Today's video I'm reacting to is Haunted Hotel Story Compilations, Terrifying Paranormal Encounters While Traveling. Before we get into this video, like, comment, and subscribe, please. And excuse the stuffiness. Allergies is fucking with me. So, with that being said, get your blanket. Let's get scared.
Let me tell you about the time I stayed one night at the Cecil Hotel by accident. I told the story years ago on here, but it's really far down on my page, so I'm retelling it. So back in 2016, when my husband and I were dating, it was Halloween weekend, and he invited me to go to LA for a League of Legends tournament. So I agreed to go. I had nothing else to do for that Halloween weekend. So he took care of everything, the hotel, and paying for everything. He did send me a photo of the hotel, but looking back now, I see why the website only showed photos of the lobby. And from what we could see in the lobby and the photos on the website, it looked nice. So we drive down there, and as we're pretty much approaching the hotel, I'm like, ooh, because it's downtown LA, and my husband and I are from Northern California, so we don't know much about LA. At the time, I didn't know that downtown LA looked like that. But it was too late, so I just figured, you know, it's fine, whatever. So we go into the hotel, and the lobby looks nice, like how it did on the photos. We get to the front desk, and they were a little odd, but whatever. We get to the front desk, they give us our keys, we get in the elevator to go to our room. Elevator kind of had a weird vibe, and we go to our room, unlock the door, and there's a man in the room. So
What?
Never in my life or my husband have we ever...
Hold on. It gave you a room that was already preoccupied, basically.
Checked into a hotel ever and went into our room, and there was somebody already in there that wasn't like the staff. So we're just standing there just in shock, quiet, because with the door open, and the man is okay. So I recently asked my husband about this, and he said that the man was looking in our direction but not looking at us. I remember that he wasn't looking at us at all, but he did not acknowledge us at all. He didn't say anything. He didn't yell. He didn't jump. He didn't do anything, which you would think a loud hotel door opens when you're in your room. You would think you would react. He didn't react at all. He was like packing, and he had a suitcase, but it wasn't like a modern looking suitcase. It was kind of like what you see on TV, like when men have like a briefcase and they just pack like a pair of pants and a shirt, and it like folds closed. And we remember that he wasn't he was like barely dressed, and what he had on was like odd. He was wearing like those old man like stocking sock things. I don't really know how to explain it, but anyways, it feels like we were standing there for a long time and just staring, because we were just totally in shock and we didn't know what to say, because he also didn't say anything. So we just closed the door, turn around, go back to the lobby, and we're like, hey, there's a man in the room. And I still remember the girl's face, and she was looking at me like I was crazy because I told her there was a man in the room. She didn't say anything, and she just went and got the manager. The manager just kind of went on the computer and gave us another room, and she said, you'll be the only ones on the floor, which I thought was weird. Like, why would you tell me that? But maybe she was just saying that to reassure us that no one else would be in the room and we wouldn't have the same thing happen. But
First of all, I wouldn't even stay there. After walking in the room, seeing that shit, and then now you saying I'm the only motherfuckers that's gonna be on the floor, that's weird as fuck. I am out. I'm not looking back. We gonna get something else. We gonna bunk this bitch up in the car for the night or something. I am not doing it. I'm sorry.
I did think it was interesting that they didn't try to like argue with us when we told them that someone was in the room. They didn't say anything. They didn't say anything back at all. They just gave us a new room with no issues, no arguments at all. So we're like, that's weird, but whatever. We go into the room. It's already getting late. We hurry up, get ready, go to the tournament, have a good time. We go to dinner after. We're back at the hotel probably around 11-ish or midnight. I don't really remember, but I do know that it was late. So we go to sleep, and the first thing, we're sleeping, and I wake up because I'm hearing tapping. tapping on the window, just like tap, 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 over and over. To the point it wakes me up out of my sleep. And I'm still in bed. I didn't wake my husband up, but I'm just staring at the window, awake. And I'm like, what is doing that? We're higher up in the hotel. It's downtown LA, so there's no like trees. So there couldn't be a branch that's tapping. It can't be a person that's tapping. Possibly a bird, but birds aren't really, city type birds aren't really out at nighttime tapping on a window like that. So I thought that was a little weird. And then I can't remember if I went back to sleep and then woke up or if it happened right after, but.
Hey, babe. Can you go in another room, yo? Yeah.
The next thing that happens in the middle of the night while I'm awake is I hear children running around the hallways. And that really scared me. And I'm sleeping on the bed closest to the door. So I'm just staring at the door thinking, is someone going to come in here? Because one, she told us we were the only people on the floor. Two, it's like probably 2-3 o'clock in the morning. What would children be doing at this hotel? And if they're at this hotel, why would they be up at this hour running around the hallway? And I could tell it was children because I could tell by the weight of the feet. It didn't sound like an adult running. It was children running around the hallways. And I was just up staring at the door for what felt like a while. And then I just was like, what am I going to do? Whatever, like just go to sleep. And when I woke up in the morning, I remembered that I was having weird dreams, but as of now, I can't recall what they were. I can't remember if at the time I remembered the dreams, but I knew that I had weird dreams. Not like, I don't even know if I wanted to call them scary, but they were just weird. I really don't know how to explain it. They were odd. And I told my husband everything that happened while he was asleep and I was up, and about my weird dreams. And he said he had weird dreams too, although he didn't experience anything weird. And my husband is not, at least at the time, he was not someone that believed in the supernatural at all. I very much believe in the supernatural. He did not at all. But so it was surprising that at the hotel, even he had weird dreams and just a weird vibe about being there. So it's the morning time and we're talking about what happened, and we're immediately just like, let's get the hell out of here. Like, this place is weird. Like, we have to go. And I remember we didn't shower. I didn't brush my teeth. That's gross. I'm sorry. But I just threw on my clothes, grabbed my stuff, and I was like, let's get out of here. I don't even care.
Ain't nothing gross about dipping out because you're fucking terrified. You can brush your teeth and do all that shit as soon as you go to a motherfucking coffee shop, just go in a motherfucking restroom and brush your motherfucking shit. But it's nothing weird. Like, you're fucking terrified. Get the fuck out of there. Plain and simple.
I just want to go home. This place is freaking weird. So we're on our way back home, and it's Halloween weekend. I don't know if I mentioned that already, but it's Halloween weekend. So it's now Sunday. And my friend texted me and she had asked me, how was my weekend? What did I do? And I told her, I went with my husband to this video game tournament and we stayed at this hotel, but some weird stuff happened. And she asked, which hotel were you at? What's it called? And I told her we stayed at the Cecil Hotel. And she's like, you do know that hotel's haunted, right? There's a whole season of American Horror Story based off of that hotel. And I'm like, no, I didn't know that. Okay, that makes sense. So I'm looking up stuff at that point and I'm seeing how it's like one of the most haunted hotels and all these crazy articles. And I'm like, okay, that explains it. And to add to that, recently, and I posted this on my TikTok a couple of weeks ago, there's a woman on here, I can't remember the creator's name, but she has the ability to take what she calls it as taking a peek at the afterlife, and people request, usually celebrities, for her to take a peek at. And recently she took a peek at a location, and that location was the Cecil Hotel. And I came across that video, and one thing she pointed out was that when she took a peek, she saw children running in the hallways. And I saw that and I immediately was like, okay, I was right then. I wasn't imagining things, and I knew I wasn't imagining things at the time. I'm very sure of myself when stuff like that happens, but it just felt odd to hear children running around. And I didn't want to think that it was something supernatural, but after seeing that creator's video of her saying that she saw children running around at the Cecil Hotel when she took a peek, it totally just confirmed it for me. But yeah, that was the time I accidentally stayed at the Cecil Hotel. My husband and I still talk about it from time to time. And years ago, we were talking about it after. And we were like, was that a ghost about the man in the room? At the time, we didn't think anything of it because we didn't know the history of the hotel and all the other weird stuff hadn't happened yet. But looking back and putting the pieces together, it was weird that he never acknowledged us. People always say ghosts, they never acknowledge you. They're going about their business. And when we told the front desk, they didn't say anything about it. They didn't argue with us about it. And the whole encounter was just weird. And so now we're like, could that have been a ghost? I personally believe that even like when we go to the grocery store and things that we do in our daily lives, we probably have seen ghosts but not realized it. And I think that may have been one of those instances that we just were watching a ghost and didn't even realize it. But yeah, that was my time at the Cecil Hotel. I said I would retell it because it's so far down on my page. Until this day, people come across the part 1 of the video and they ask for the rest of the parts. And I'm like, it's really far down and I don't have enough followers to make a playlist yet. So I said I would retell it once I hit 1,000. So thank you for 1,000. And yeah, that was my time at the Cecil Hotel.
I got a message from a girl, I'm just going to call Jay, with a submission for Spooky Scary Story Time. And she said that back in 2011, her and her girls were going to New York City for a girls' weekend. It was supposed to be this fun, easygoing trip, but it turned into the most haunting, terrifying experience of her life, something she still thinks about. They were staying at the Chelsea Hotel, which is notorious for the 1978 brutal unaliving of Nancy Spungen, allegedly by her boyfriend Sid Vicious of the band The Humpty Dumpty Pistols. Not the real band name, you know what I'm talking about. Despite this happening there in the 1970s, this hotel is known for housing notables, and her friend actually booked the room because it's supposed to be a nice hotel. When they check in, the receptionist says, oh, you have room 104, but she says it in kind of a sinister way. And Jay has no knowledge about what happened there in the 1970s. She really doesn't know any history there. And she's like, why'd you say it like that? And the receptionist basically nods at the fact that something bad happened in that room. They learned that Nancy's unaliving in 1978 actually happened in room 100, but room 100 doesn't exist anymore. And it's actually been split into 2 rooms, room 102 and room 104. They said the receptionist didn't tell them why the room was split, but she assumes it was probably because of what happened there. But when they check in, they notice the room is beautiful. It's decorated with deco-style furniture, almost frozen in time. She said when you walked in the room, there was a hallway that led to a kitchenette, a giant living room with beautiful curtains that had false balconies, a fireplace, and then the bedroom and the bathroom. Jay said the first couple days of the trip went amazing. They explored various restaurants and bars, had a good time, nothing out of the ordinary. But on the third night, something terrifying happened to them. They were out with some other friends from New York City, and that friend suggested that everybody goes back to the room to hang out. A few people turned into like 20 or 30, and Josh Hartnett is weirdly there. Said it wasn't really relevant to the story, but it was still bizarre. So everyone's hanging out in the room, having a good time. She said she definitely had a few drinks, but not enough to explain what happened next. All of a sudden, she's hit with this intense feeling of anxiety, of panic, of sheer terror. She doesn't know why she's feeling this way because she's having a good time. She's with people she knows and trusts, and she ends up going in the bathroom. And she's in the bathroom for the next 7 hours. It's around midnight when this panic hits, and she locks herself in the bathroom and she just sits down on the floor underneath the sink. It was like a full-blown panic attack, which she said she has no history of, has never experienced before. She's sitting underneath the sink, and over the next few hours, her friends are coming to the bathroom door, trying to get her out, trying to get in. She said the panic and anxiety was so much that she couldn't even move. They could only hear her crying. She said she was sobbing uncontrollably, shaking uncontrollably. It was like something so dark consumed her that she didn't even have the words or the...
She was reliving what that female went through. That's what the fuck that was.
reason to explain to her friends what was happening to her. It was like this intense darkness just consumed her. She said it was the deepest sadness, anguish, and grief that she's ever experienced or could imagine experiencing. She said all she could do was rock herself and sob, and she truly felt in those hours that she would never feel true happiness again. This goes on for the entire night. Eventually, one friend finally gets the lock to unlatch and comes in and tries to calm her down and realizes that she can't. The friends that she's on this trip with eventually stop trying to calm her down and go back out to continue the party elsewhere. She's in that same spot all night, rocking and crying until around 6:30 in the morning.
He said she ain't fucking up my vibes. The fuck?
Suddenly, it just feels like this weight is lifted and she can move again. She opens the door to the bathroom. Everyone's asleep. She goes out and passes out in one of the rooms. After this whole ordeal, she just felt completely back to normal, like no lingering grief, nothing. And her friends were like, "What happened to you?" And she was like, "I have no idea." She said she just apologized and tried to move on, but for the next few years, she felt troubled by it, even though she just chalked it up to a bad panic attack until couple of years ago, she's scrolling and she comes across a post about haunted hotels. She immediately recognizes the Chelsea in the thumbnail, clicks on it, and goes down that rabbit hole. What she found shocked her. She learns that the bathroom she was in was the bathroom in room 100 where Nancy was unalived. And then she found a graphic photo of Nancy after she was found, and Nancy was in the exact spot underneath the sink. The exact same spot that she was paralyzed in for almost 7 hours. And Jay said while she still can't explain what happened to her that night, it feels terrifying to know that it's possible that a spirit or entity or ghost took hold of her and dragged her into a mental state of such desperation and despair despite coming out physically unscathed. She said that learning
Told you. I know what the fuck I be talking about, bro.
that it might have not been a panic attack, but instead something darker, has actually been very heartbreaking for her. She did say that she's not really friends with those girls anymore. She doesn't know if that night has anything to do with it, but she suspects so. Another weird thing is that
it should, because they left her. They didn't ride that shit out with her. They wasn't no true fucking friends.
Actually was 20 when this happened, which was the same age that Nancy was when she was unalived. And the two have striking resemblances in the sense that they both wore dark eye makeup, were very pale, had a similar build, and had crazy frizzy blonde hair. She also said that she was in a particularly vulnerable place in her life when this all took place, and she wonders if that made her an easy target for whatever took over her. There are videos which she sent me where you can see this bathroom. I'm not going to post it because it's graphic, but you can find it on your own. And although I just used her initial, I'm still waiting to hear back if she wants to be completely anonymous or not. If she doesn't, I'll tag her. Keep sending me your spooky, scary stories.
This haunted hotel inspired Stephen King's 1408, and it was later turned into a pretty chilling movie. The Hotel del Coronado in California was once a glamorous retreat for Hollywood stars and prominent figures, but now it's known for its ghostly encounters and the tragic tale of Kate Morgan, a guest who checked in but never checked out. Stephen King's short story and the movie 1408 follows author Mike Insland, who makes a career debunking paranormal phenomena. His next target is the infamous room 1408 at the Dolphin Hotel. Despite warnings from the hotel manager, Mike takes the key and steps into a literal nightmare.
Just get the key to 1408.
In the 95 years of the hotel's existence, there have been 56 deaths in 1408. No one's ever lasted more than an hour. Do not stay in that room.
All of this was inspired by the findings of parapsychologist Christopher Chacon, who was hired by the hotel to investigate the resort's paranormal activity in 1992. For an entire year, he conducted a 24/7 assessment documenting countless unexplained phenomena. Room 3502, a former maid quarters, revealed over 37 abnormalities, including disembodied voices, phantom footsteps, sudden icy air, and shadowy figures. Throughout the investigation, the hotel's guests and staffs reported hundreds of incidents, talking to unseen entities, hearing inexplicable sounds, or catching scents that had no traceable source. But the ghostly figure of a woman presumed to be Kate Morgan is a popular occurrence. In November 1892, 24-year-old Kate Morgan checked into the hotel under the name Mrs. Lottie A. Bernard. She was stunning and well-dressed, but it was clear she was sad. It was said that Kate confided in a housekeeper, revealing she was diagnosed with stomach cancer and was waiting for her doctor brother to arrive. But some people will say she was waiting for a mysterious lover. Whoever Kate was waiting for, her brother or a lover, no letters ever came and no one visited her. Kate eventually left the hotel to purchase a handgun, and on the morning of November 29, 1892, her body was found on the beach steps by the hotel's assistant electrician. Police confirmed she had sadly taken her life. She was buried in Mount Hope Cemetery, and the media called her the beautiful stranger since she had checked in under a false identity. In the 1980s, a lawyer reviewed old case files and raised questions about the circumstances of her death. Some believe the caliber of the gun she purchased didn't match the bullet that killed her, but the case was never reopened. This day, Kate's room is one of the hotel's most requested. Guests claim to encounter her ghost, and another infamous room, 3502, once belonged to the maid who cared for Kate during her stay. Legend says that the maid vanished the day after Kate's funeral and was never seen again. To this day, believers, skeptics, and paranormal investigators visit the Hotel del Coronado in hopes of experiencing something unexplainable.
Here's a story that no one asked me to tell. So I'm born and bred here in New Orleans, and I've always had my businesses in New Orleans. Mainly, the main parts of the different businesses that I've had focus on events and weddings. So probably around 2003, my son Joey was in high school, and we were doing like over 300 weddings a year, designing flowers and events. So we had to split up into teams to make these deliveries with bouquets. So downtown, as everybody knows, they have different hotels. They're like, oh, that hotel's haunted or this hotel's haunted. Honestly, I was too tired and too busy to even worry about it. But I do have a little bit of clairvoyance. My son Joey, he doesn't, okay? He doesn't believe in anything. So, like his dad. So we were the team that day to go to this hotel. We walk in, we get on the elevator, girls on the 14th floor. No problem. We press 14, we go up, we're like, oh, this is gonna be easy. We're no wait. So we get up to the 14th floor, ding, 14. We get off the elevator and we're walking down the hallway. And it says 1325, 1327, 1329. And I see these steps like ahead, way down the hallway. I'm like, gosh, maybe we go up the steps and that leads to the 14th floor. We don't know what's going on. So we see a lady folding towels. This little lady, short black hair, a little uniform on. She looked like she was about to go and clean one of the rooms. We're on our way back from going down that hall and still all 1300s. We go up to her and start talking to her and say, hey, what's going on? Like, where do we go? Which way leads to the 14th floor? And this lady, it was like she was seeing through us. She was not paying attention to us. She didn't look at us. It was like she was a ghost.
Wow.
So he and I look at each other and he's like, I'm getting off I'm leaving. Okay. I don't know what's going on, but I'm getting back on that elevator. We go back on the elevator. We press 14 again. Okay. The door closes. We press 14. The door opens back up. We walk out and here's the room numbers. 1425, 1427. And he and I are like shaking. So we go deliver the flowers to the bride. We don't say a word. We don't say a word because right now we're thinking, okay, we don't know what just happened. So we deliver the flowers. We get back on the elevator and there's this man standing in the corner and he looks like he has like an older uniform on, maybe from the early 1900s. And we're like, oh, there must be something going on. You know, I mean, this is the French Quarter. So, I mean, all kind of like festivals and all kind of stuff go on. So we look at him and we're like, hey, what's up with the floors here? We were just on the 13th floor. This man looks straight ahead and he says, this hotel doesn't have a 13th floor. And Joey and I look at each other. We get to the bottom floor. We walk off that elevator. I look back, and that man wasn't there.
Wow.
And from that time on, my son Joey will not go in that hotel. As a matter of fact, he doesn't even like it when I tell the story. He won't even tell the story because he doesn't want to believe that happened, but he knows it did.
That's crazy.
So that's my story for today.
I stayed in a haunted room at the Chateau Marmont in Los Angeles a few weeks ago when I stayed there during Christmas. This is my first paranormal experience, ghost experience that I've ever had in my entire life. I always heard of this happening to people and I always believed them, but I've never experienced something like what I experienced a few weeks ago. And it was hands down one of the craziest things that's happened to me my whole life. Okay, let me set the scene. The Chateau Marmont is one of my favorite places in LA. It's so iconic. I've stayed there before. I've been there a million times. When I was home in California for Christmas, my dad and I decided we should do a little staycation because it was just the two of us. I suggested we stay at the Chateau because I knew it was really Christmassy and I thought it'd be really fun. We showed up Saturday night before Christmas. We checked in pretty late and we got one of the 2-bedroom suites. This is a room I've stayed in before. They're little 2-bedroom apartments. They have a kitchen, they have 2 bedrooms, a bathroom, a balcony, and I had stayed in the same layout room, just a different floor before. We check in, I'm so happy, I'm putting my things away. We go to dinner in LA, we get drinks downstairs in the lobby, and then around 11:30, 12, we go back upstairs. My dad goes to bed and I am just doing my thing. I make myself tea in the kitchen. I'm hanging out in the living room. I'm on the balcony. I'm calling people. Why I say all this is I think it's important to note that I wasn't scared in the room when I checked in. I wasn't scared throughout the night. I wasn't even scared when I went to bed. I've always been someone that I feel like I'm pretty good and in tune with energy. And so when I check into a hotel room usually that has some weird energy in it, I take note of that. And this was not the case at all. Like I felt completely comfortable, happy, like I didn't feel scared, nothing. I also think it's important to note that I was not drunk. I had probably a half a Negroni, okay? Because a lot of people are like, were you just drunk? No. I'm having a good time. I drink my peppermint tea. I do my skincare routine. I get in bed. I watch a little bit of TikTok and then I go to sleep. And this is why I also think it's important because I wasn't scared when I like turned the lights off and went to bed. Like I did not feel scared. I was just happy to be there. I finally like put my phone away and went to sleep at I think like 12:45, 1 in the morning. And I went to bed and I fell asleep. At what I only can assume probably like 3:30 in the morning. I don't actually know because I didn't look at the clock, but I think it was around 3:30. I woke up and I felt terrified. Again, I don't know how to explain it because I'm not a scaredy cat kind of person. Like I'm not someone with a ton of like anxiety. I'm not someone on edge. Like I don't really get scared. And I woke up and it felt like I was jolted awake with terror. Didn't have a nightmare, nothing. So I wake up, I'm terrified. I'm like sweating because I'm so scared. And something in my body is just like, this is scary, like be scared. I just open my eyes and I look around the room. There's nothing weird, but I'm terrified. So I just say to myself, I'm like, I don't know why you're scared, like just go back to sleep. I try to go back to sleep, but like my heart is pounding and I'm sweating and I'm just like, okay, I don't really know what to do. So I'm just like covering myself really tight with the covers and trying to go to sleep. As I'm trying to go to sleep, the doorknob of my hotel room, it was either my hotel room or the bathroom door. They were right next to each other. I didn't open my eyes, so I don't know which one it was. But one of those doorknobs starts making the noise as if it's trying to open. Like it's going, like as if someone's trying to open the door. Immediately.
Fuck that. Listen, she should have ran where her pops was at. You feel me? I'm not, bro, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Watching videos where doorknobs jiggle with these paranormal videos and hearing things run up and down stairs fucks with me big time. It's one of the creepiest shits ever. Like, so I don't even want to really imagine that shit in real life, but just seeing it like and hearing it from videos is fucking already terrifying enough. So she probably was fucked up, but I would have ran. I'd have got about that motherfucker.
I'm terrified, but my dad is asleep in the second bedroom. So I convinced myself, okay, like dad is just getting up.
I'd have woke him up. I would have wouldn't have seen. I'd have called. I'd have yelled the motherfucking name, man. Dad, yo, is that you? You know what I'm saying?
Up to go to the bathroom or something. So I turn back around and I just like go back to sleep. And as I'm trying to sleep, like every, I want to say 10, 15 minutes, boom, 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 boom. Like as if the door is opening. So that's when I'm like, all right, that's clearly not my dad because he's not getting up every 15 minutes to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
That's when I'm like, okay, this is what's happening. Like there's a ghost in here. Like, I don't know why, but my body was just like, yep, there's a ghost in here. I can't even begin to describe how scared I was, but I was just like, Avery, don't let the ghost know you're scared. Just go to sleep. Like that's what I just kept telling myself. Also, I just want to say the door handle thing happened probably 4 times throughout the night. At this point, there's a lull in the door handles moving and I still feel scared, but like nothing around me is scary, if that makes sense. So I tell myself, okay, you are going to go to sleep. You're going to forget about it, turn over and go to sleep. I turn over on my side. My head is on my pillow. I wrap myself tightly around in my blanket. Like I'm holding myself. You know that feeling? My head is on my pillow. And this is not an exaggeration or a lie. I swear on my life. My head is on the pillow. I close my eyes. I'm like this. The covers are wrapped around me. And all of a sudden, I feel, oh my God, I feel my head, this is my head on the pillow, slide down my pillow like this off the pillow, as if someone's pulling me by my legs. I swear to God. And what did I do? My head is sliding like this. I can feel my entire body sliding. And I say to myself, keep your eyes shut, do not react. Keep your eyes shut, do not move, do not react. And that's what I did. I didn't move and I didn't open my eyes and I'm shaking in terror. And I'm like, this ghost is pulling me by my legs. Keeping my eyes as shut as I possibly can. I'm literally laying there, I'm shaking, and I'm just like, what do I do? Do I get up? Do I go to my dad's room? But I was terrified to open my eyes or get up. So I just laid there. I laid there like that until I could see light, like the littlest bit of light coming in from my window. And the second that I felt light come in through the window, I opened my eyes and my head was off the pillow exactly like I thought. And I was slid down probably a quarter to the bed. The second it was light outside, I got up and I went to my dad's room and I said, Dad, did you go to the bathroom a bunch of times last night? Do you know what he said? Do you know what my dad said? He said, no, but I heard the door keep opening. I thought maybe you were sick. So my dad heard the doorknob open, jiggle, and open all night too. And he also was wondering if it was me.
But nobody thinks to get up physically to see. Like, if he thought she was sick, check on your daughter. If she thought it was her dad going to the bathroom that many times, then check to see what's wrong with him. The fuck? Yo, no, nobody got up to see what was going on.
So yeah, I feel like I was definitely getting taunted by a ghost at the Chateau Marmont. I feel like I'm a very logical person and there's just no other explanation of it. And I just feel like that has to be it. I don't know. If you watch the whole thing, let me know what you think. If you're a ghost expert, let me know because it was crazy. In case you're wondering, I still love the chateau. And the next day I was genuinely like, okay, I just won't ever stay in that room again.
I was talking to these two friends, okay, I use that term loosely. They're both regulars at my job. They come in every single Friday. They're engineers. One is the head engineer and one is right below him. But they work for a large hotel chain. It's 5-star. It's very nice. It's very expensive. And they've both been with the company for years. They've lived all over the country in different locations, opening up hotels. I'm not sure what an engineer actually does working for a hotel chain, okay? But I would consider them both like well-off, family-type men. Clean-cut, business-esque, okay? And they're cool. I talk to them all the time. They know a lot about my life. I know a lot about theirs. And so they know about Spooky Scary Storytime. And so I've joked with them because they have so many crazy stories about working in hotels that I was like, you guys need to start your own TikTok account. They don't want to do it. But most of their stories are not spooky. They're just like funny or wild. But the other day, one of them did tell me a scary story. I'm just going to call him Hotel Guy. So Hotel Guy tells me that he was living in Hawaii. He lived in Hawaii for years. I know I'm not pronouncing Hawaii correctly. It's because I'm not a native. Like, I'm from Chicago originally. He said he absolutely loved living there. Favorite place. He would go back in a heartbeat. But one night he's there working late on something and he's really good friends with the head of security at this property. So Hotel Guy takes a little breaky break and he goes over to see his head of security buddy in the security office. They're in there catching up, whatever, hanging out, and they can see on the security cameras, which are all in front of them, the front gate of the hotel property. Apparently this property resort is massive. I have not seen photos. I'm just imagining, but he said there's like a long winding road to the front gate of this resort property. And at the front gate of this property, there's like a little security checkpoint or like hut where the overnight security guard who's manning the front gates of the property stays. They see him come out of this little security hut, go to the gate because a woman has approached. She's dressed very like scantily clad. She's carrying some kind of fiery torch, or at least what looks like that on the security camera. He said it wasn't like a flashlight or a phone. It was flickering. It may have been a candle, but either way, it catches their attention. So she's on one side of the gate and the security guard's the other, and he walks out of the hut and walks up to her and he's talking. He's a dude, obviously, so he describes the woman as being like very attractive, but obviously it's grainy. It's on a security camera footage. I'm assuming that they're just checking out her body at this point. So both Hotel Guy and head of security buddy are looking at this camera going like, what's going on? And head of security buddy actually says, is she holding a torch? And it was weird to them because this is in like 2013. People had cell phones and flashlights. Like, there's no need to be walking around with a torch. And it was also strange because people that came to the hotel usually came by car or shuttle. People weren't just out here walking around in the wilderness, especially a woman scantily clad. Like, it was 11 o'clock at night. It's dark out. At one point, the security guard on the camera puts his hand up on the gate, like he's leaning up against it, talking to her through the gate. And then she turns and walks down the road and she disappears from the camera. The security guard turns around and goes back into the hut, at which point Hotel Guy and head of security buddy radio him. And they say, what was that all about? To which the security guard at the front gate says, what was what about? And they say, who was that woman that just approached the gate? And he calls back on the radio and he says, what woman? Apparently the security guard at the front gate didn't see a woman, said he wasn't talking to anybody. He said he was listening to music and singing along, but he wasn't having a conversation and he had just stepped out to get some fresh air. But they said watching the tape, you could tell that there was a back and forth. Like, she opened her mouth to speak and then he opened his mouth to speak. At one point, the head of security even questioned if he was maybe doing something that he shouldn't have been doing, but nothing changed hands. Like he never touched her. He never reached out. So head of security sends out another guard to go stand at the station while this security guard comes in so he can watch the footage. And he is just taken aback. He said, I swear to you, nobody was out there when I was out leaning against the gate. Like I was listening to music, I was singing. Apparently, the security guard at the front gate was shaken enough that he made them play it over and over and over again, and he took a video of it. So this video exists out there somewhere, although hotel guy told me that he doesn't personally have it. I don't know what it was. He said he doesn't know what it was, but it's one experience that just stays with him and he thinks about from time to time. If there's anyone here from Hawaii or who has lived in Hawaii and you have any idea who this woman may have been, please feel free to leave a comment, because I'm going to show these comments to hotel guy and just be like, hey, so I was thinking about what you said and I made this video. He doesn't know I'm making this video, but I think he would get a kick out of and just be genuinely like excited that people were interested in what he had to say.
It is time for another spooky story. If you have a spooky story of your own that you would like to share, please feel free to comment or send me a DM. Make sure as well to add me on Facebook, same handle, Autumn in Appalachia. And no, this is not a ghost's hair, it is a broomstick, so nobody get freaked out yet. I knew that if I didn't clarify, one of y'all was going to be like, whose hair is that? Without further ado, Queen, we're calling her Queen because of her username, shared a story that he beat my jeeps for me, okay? She said in 2001, she goes to London, England with her best friend and her best friend's mom. They're going down there not just to travel, but also to see a play that Madonna was cast in. Super cool. Now, when they check into the hotel that they were going to be staying in, she said that immediately she felt uncomfortable. She said that she didn't quite know how to explain it, but that the vibes were just off. She at first just tried to kind of brush it aside and say it's just because she's in a new place, but when they check into the room, she actually begins hearing things like unexplained noises in the room, and it freaked her out enough that she actually mentioned it to her best friend and her best friend's mom. They just kind of say like, you're tripping, like nothing's wrong, and so they end up getting ready to go to bed. So Queen is successfully able to go to sleep. A little while later, she is woken up out of a dead sleep for no particular reason. Now, she said her eyes were kind of barely open at first. The room is dark, but not dark enough that you can't see anything. She said her eyes began to gravitate toward the foot of the bed because she felt somebody staring at her. And when she looks at the foot of the bed, she saw something that absolutely took the breath from her lungs. As her eyes adjust a little bit more to the darkness, she finds that she is making direct eye contact with a spirit. It looked like a man kneeling at the end of her bed. She said that he was bald and he is on his knees. He has his hands raised up in the air and he is just death staring at her. She said that he was covered, we're watching our wording, from head to toe in red bodily fluid. She was so petrified, she said that she could not move and she couldn't scream. Everything in her body was trying to and wanted to scream, but the fear was so intense that it literally took her voice from her. So she lays there looking at him looking back at her for what felt like forever. She eventually is able to move just enough to pull the blanket over her head, and she lays there until she somehow manages to fall back asleep. Now, how in the hell you're going to fall asleep with something like that in your room, I don't know, but she did. And so the next morning, she wakes up. Tell me, y'all, how in the Kentucky fried hell she looks down at this white shirt that she is wearing and there is red bodily fluid on her shirt. There's no trace of it anywhere else in the room, anywhere. She looks all over herself for a cut, a scratch, a bruise, a skeeter bite. There is nothing, but her shirt is covered in this red bodily fluid. I just have no words.
She should have had that shit tested.
Now, she also, what is also terrifying is that not only did she wake up with this on her shirt, she woke up with the most intense, excruciating pains in her stomach. Now, she is...
I was going to say something. I ain't saying shit. I ain't saying shit.
So, rightfully so, petrified, she tells her best friend and her best friend's mom. They just laugh it off and act like she is just like seeing things or like losing her marbles, but she said it was real. She was not asleep. She knows for a fact that she was awake. She knows what she saw, and she just does not know how to explain it. Now, she can't remember the name of this hotel, so she wasn't really able to do like research to see if there's like some sort of a haunted history there. Obviously there has to be, because this bald MFer is in her room freaking kneeling in the floor with his hands raised to the heavens. Good God. That's the story. It's terrifying. Y'all let me know what you think. I don't even know what to think. You'd almost, just because of, you know, it looking so real, you'd think that it was like a real man standing in her room or like kneeling in her room. But I don't know.
That's crazy.
Yeah, stay tuned for some more spooky stories.
Scary story time on how I believe my hotel room is like semi-haunted. Let me stop. This is my favorite glue ever. Okay, y'all, get your money's worth and what? Let it drain. I hate to say it like this, but I believe I brought them here, y'all. I believe I personally brought them here. So it all started at this lake that I went to. The first time that I had gotten in the lake, I didn't feel anything. I didn't have a weird feeling. And then the second time I got into the lake, I had the weirdest feeling. Like, I can't tell you, but it was so weird. And I was like, you know what? I want to get out this lake. Like, it's not a good feeling. So then I ended up going to the beach. Oh, this activates like almost instantly. But I ended up going to the beach, right? And I'm not going to say I had the same feeling at the beach, but it was like semi the same, right? The salt water was beating me up. I'm talking about 1, 2, 3 uppercut, okay? And I look like this because I'm filming a bedrock video on YouTube, Anne-Marie TV 2823. So yeah, the salt water was beating on my eyes. I'm like, okay, like it's time for me to go. Like I don't even want to be in this water no more. So then on the way back, I ended up falling asleep. And when I fell asleep, I had a dream of like this man drowning. It was like I was trying to help him, but I couldn't help him. Like I couldn't do anything about it. And I promise y'all this is real. Like I'm not making this up. I think I put too much activator, but yeah. So I had a dream about a man like you know, drowning. And then like I had woken up and I didn't even know how to react. Like I didn't scream when I woke up. I was just like staring off into the distance because I was like, what did I just like, you know, see? So I'm just thinking it's me, because whenever I get into a body of water, I'm always thinking like the worst situations because of anxiety. Oh my God. Because of anxiety, right? So I'm thinking the worst already. And please open nails, don't fail me. Okay, so I'm like, okay, like this is weird, but whatever. I had brushed it off. So I make it back home, and about like I said, about like a day later or whatever, I ended up having a dream again. But this time, this dream took place in the nighttime. So the dream goes like this. There was 3 men, and I witnessed them all like drown. Like I witnessed them all drown. And they were like not looking, I'm getting goosebumps. They were like looking at me, but not looking at me. And it was like I was trying to help them, but I could not help them. So I was like, this is so weird. And mind you, they were drowning at the places that I had been. So they drowned at the lake. One of them drowned at the lake. No, 2 of them drowned at the lake. And then the other one drowned at the beach. So I had searched up, like when I had woke up, I had got the weirdest feeling. So something had told me like, go search up like how many people had like unalived in this lake. Y'all, goosebumps. I literally searched up like how they drowned and everything or whatever, and I literally read about like the news article about how 2 people had drowned, more than 2, but like the 2 specific people that I had a dream about, they had drowned in the said lake. Hey, so I explained the timeline insane, so let me try to like re-explain so it can make more sense. The first time that I had went to the lake, I had a grand time. It was really fun. I had no feeling of uncomfortableness. The second time I went to the lake was like 2 to 3 days later, and that's when I got in. It felt super weird. I felt super uneasy. And then on the way back to the room, so leaving the lake, on the way back to the room, that's where I had that dream of the man drowning when I was sleeping in the car. And then 3 days later, we had went to the beach, okay? You still with me? We went to the beach, and then like that night, I had a dream about the men, again, drowning. And then when I had woke up from that dream, I searched it up. Yeah, I'm sorry. And then one of the men had drowned in the ocean. Yeah, and I was so spooked, and I literally just like went under the covers, and I was so scared. Honestly, I have to add my arch nemesis because this slime is not loosening up. So we're adding instant snow. Yeah. I wish that it just ended there and that was the end of it. And yeah, no, like I said, it starts with the freaking dreams. So after I had those dreams or whatever, like before I had even told anyone about the dream, the very next day, my family said that they were like seeing people in like the room, and I was like what type of people? And they were like men, like they were seeing like two men, like shadows of men, like they don't know what it's about, but they kept seeing men. I was like, what the crap? Like, y'all, at this point, I'm getting goosebumps, but I don't want to tell them because it's like, maybe it's my fault that they're here or whatever. And the very last thing of it, the radio turns on at the, like, out of nowhere. It just flickers on in the middle of the night, and it spooked the crap out of me. And so the next day I had told, like, my family, I was like, I had this dream about these men, and they were like, so you're the one who brought them here. So ever since I had those dreams, I haven't seen them, but I'm not gonna say I haven't, but like I've seen like maybe somewhat of a shadow, but like I can't even tell you if it's just my imagination, but like my family has seen them for sure. So yeah, y'all, the slime is loosening up a bit. I just wanted to loosen up. I think I put too much activator. I even added more glue and it just doesn't want to work. I'm gonna get this slime to loosen up, but something that I cannot take accountability for, this is like instant snow, is the one thing that I have seen is a silhouette of a little girl. Like that's something that I have seen. It's like she wants to play, but like I'm scared. Y'all, I have not learned my lesson with cloud slime. I don't think I ever will learn my lesson. Like this stuff is so freaking messy and I continue to do it. So I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know what that means because I've seen that and I didn't have no idea. And y'all, I wish I was lying, but I wasn't. Like, I'm not lying. I would not lie about something like this. It freaked me the crap out when I had first seen it. Yeah, I'm trying to activate this, y'all. But yeah, what do y'all think of it? I'm gonna activate this and then I'm gonna come.
I just think that she's sensitive. That's why this is happening. She senses they're trying to tell their story. That's what that is.
Back to y'all, or reactivate this, and then I'm gonna come back to y'all because this is just too messy. I think I'm actually successfully making cloud slime.
And I low-key got caught up in making the goddamn slime.
And I wasn't even intending to make cloud slime this time. And the slime smells like amazing. But I somehow, some way, I think adding the glue like helped like mix everything together. Okay, y'all, look. I think I successfully did it. I think I did. I successfully like finally made cloud slime. Because I don't think my last video, I don't think that was successful. Like I don't think that was successful enough. All right, y'all. I actually accomplished making cloud slime. I cannot believe it, but I did. Period. Go check out my YouTube channel. I just hit 5,000 subscribers.
So I'm going to try to tell you about the time that my husband and I stayed in the most haunted building in all of Canada. It's called the Whopper Hotel. Cool place. Been around since the late 1800s. Actually burnt down to the ground at some point and was rebuilt. Okay, like hundreds of people have died in this building over the years. So huge stories about all kinds of weird characters, like Al Capone used to run his moonshine in the basement of the Whopper Hotel. Like the tunnels are still there. Really neat place. Anyway, this was in 2018. My husband and I were traveling around Canada for business, and we stopped to stay there. Stayed on the fourth floor. That's kind of important since like one of their most popular ghosts lives on the fourth floor. Her name is Prudence. She was a housekeeper. A little backstory on her was she got blown up in a guest room. They don't know if it was like a faulty gas line or if like a nefarious guest had some type of explosive device in their room. Don't know. I mean, again, Al Capone was running moonshine in the basement of this place, so just let all of that sink in. So it's all some weird characters is all I'm saying. So anyway, she languishes around for about 3 days before she passes away. Pretty gruesome stuff back then, because if you're talking Al Capone days, you're talking a wrinkle in time. So anyway, my husband and I, we got our little phones out, and this is when they had some kind of little ghost app, and we knew that we weren't picking up anything because, come on, it's our cell phones and it's a ghost app. So we're running around the hotel. We're getting all the stories from the staff. It was really, really cool. Okay, so where things are not cool is somewhere in the middle of the night. I wake up and I can't open my eyes. I can't speak. I can't move. I'm
Sleep paralysis.
trying to scream. I can feel my voice, vibrating inside my throat, trying to make a sound, trying to get something out, and I can't do anything. Probably one of the most terrifying experiences of my life. Being trapped inside your body, not fun. And unfortunately, I've had the experience. So anyway, at some point, I don't know how, but I dozed back off. Wake up that next morning, I look at my husband, I'm like, hey, something happened to me last night, and I need to talk about it. Like, it bothered me. So I told him the whole deal, being pinned down in the bed. I was not prepared for the look on his face. It was that of shock and dismay. And, I was a little puzzled by his response, but we were in a hurry to get out of there, and he was trying to, he was honestly trying to get down to the laundromat to do our laundry because we had been on the road for a few days, and, we were getting to that place where somebody was going to have to do something. So he did ask me if I was okay with being there by myself, and I was like, sure, it was last night, it's no big deal, it's over now, but I do want to talk about it later because it did bother me. So he scurries off, goes down to the laundromat to do our laundry, and I get in the shower. And I'm shaving my legs, shaving my thigh, and a voice in this ear, right behind this ear inside my head says, why do you shave there? And I thought for a moment, well, that was the weirdest thing. Why would I have a thought? And then it dawned on me. I'm like, that was somebody else's voice. Like that happened. A little freaked out, quite concerning. Because while I'll tell you I was shaving my thigh, I was shaving my upper thigh, if you catch my drift. So this lady from the early 1900s was questioning me on my grooming techniques. Then I was ready to leave. Okay, I done been pinned down in the bed, and now I'm asking about grooming. So in the shower, I'm naked.
That's crazy.
Like, I'm in my most vulnerable whatever. So yeah, it was time to go. Rob comes back. We get all of our stuff. I don't dare bring this up to him because I don't want him to think that I'm insane. Because I'm still trying to process this thought inside my head in someone else's voice. And it's getting to be a little too much. You've been pinned down in the bed. Now somebody's talking to you in your head. You're starting to go, okay, maybe my cheese is sliding off my cracker just a little. Anyway, we get packed up. We leave. We're pulling out of the parking lot. And he says, now, let's talk about last night. He said, I had the exact same thing happen to me. He said, except I could open my eyes. Wow. I freaked out. I was like, what did you see? Did you see something? What did you see? And he was like, I didn't see anything. And it wasn't that big a deal for me as it was for you. He said, as a matter of fact, if you hadn't have brought it up, I would have completely forgot about it. I'm like, I was paralyzed. How do you forget about being paralyzed? So anyway, yeah, that's my story. That's our story of us staying at the Whopper Hotel and having what I would consider a seriously awesome paranormal experience. And for the record, because I know there are people that's going to come in and say, oh, that's sleep paralysis. Well, here you go, pumpkin. Not one day in my life have I ever had sleep paralysis up to that point, and not one day in my life after that point have I ever had sleep paralysis, or my husband either, for that matter. So, if you decide to go to Kitchener, Canada, I strongly suggest you stay at the Whopper. I strongly suggest you stay on the 4th floor. And I strongly suggest that you have an experience with Prudence, because she is still there. She loved her job. She loved that place. And she is still there today. So,
I don't want no smoke with her. Nope.
Okay, guys, so this story just absolutely messed with my head. So this couple was on a road trip in Arizona, and they stopped for the night at this like little motel. It was like super old, nothing fancy, just small town vibes. The woman said that everything felt kind of off like the second that she got there. Like the front desk lady wouldn't even make eye contact with her, and the halls smelled like old wood and mold, but whatever, it was late and they were tired, so they just needed a place to stay. So they got the room key, room 104, and they went in. The room is super freezing cold, like AC blasting in the middle of the desert type cold. But the craziest part is the mirror over the dresser was covered with a sheet, like somebody literally like tacked a sheet over it. So of course she asks her what.
Listen, walking into some shit like that, I'm turning around. I don't even want my money back. I'm just gone. Fuck that skeleton key vibes. Nah.
Boyfriend to take it down. And behind the mirror was a giant hole in the wall, like big enough for somebody to crawl through. And it looked like it led to this pitch black room behind theirs. So she freaks out and she wants to leave, but her boyfriend is like, it's fine, it's nothing. It's probably like some old room or some old like storage thing. But around 2 a.m. she wakes up to this sound, like scratching, slow and steady coming from the mirror. And she swears somebody was crawling around back there. She tries to wake up her boyfriend, but he wouldn't wake up at all. Like she said it was almost like he was drugged. So she ends up sitting there just staring at the mirror until morning. When they finally go to the front desk to check out, she tells the lady that they were in room 104 and that there was something seriously wrong.
Shit,
there.
my bad, John.
And the lady, she just went pale and she said, "Ma'am, we don't have a room 104. She showed her the motel layout and everything, and the room they stayed in doesn't exist. So they went back outside, and the door that they went through the night before, it's completely gone. It's just a wall now. No knob, no number, just nothing. They say she hallucinated it, but she still had the room key and the sheet. So yeah, I don't know what that was, but it gives crawl space energy and I hate it."
Yo, hold it. That shit is like a movie. That you was in there, you come out, and the room never exists. That's fucking crazy. That's fucking nuts. Listen. Haunted Hotel Story Compilation. Terrifying paranormal encounters while traveling. That is the video. It is spooky season. Like, comment, and subscribe. Please, please do it. Until next time, my people, let's get scary.